Hello and welcome back to my RC channel. I'm Andy RC and today I'm going to be taking a look at the W Altoi's V686 quadcopter, which has kindly been sent in to me by GearBest. Now I'm going to do an overall review of the quadcopter first, but then I'm going to modify it to show what it is capable of. This is the non-FPV version and also the non-camera version. It's only costing 22 GBP, which is astonishing and is going to be great for beginners. It comes with a 2.4 GHz transmitter in mode 2, a 730 mAh one-cell battery, a spare set of props, a charger, prop protectors and a screwdriver to attach them to. All you need to get this flying is 6 AA batteries for the transmitter. Now that might sound a lot of batteries, but it's a good thing in my opinion. The transmitter is using a different protocol to the W Altoi's V686, which you may have seen on my channel before, and also the V262. The transmitters are not compatible with this. Now you will have to bear with me on its features because it's got a lot of them. It has 6-axis gyro stabilization, 4 rate modes, a flip function, a simulated headless mode, and a simulated return to home mode. I say simulated because true return to home requires a compass and a GPS module. I don't expect the same results from it. You can also turn the lights on and off. The transmitter also retains the camera function buttons if you want to add the FPV gear later, which is available from W Altoi's. It has slots underneath for the FPV module. It also accepts the W Altoi's bubble blower and the gun as well that can be attached to the V686. This will be great for how I want to modify it later. The battery connector is a JST connector, therefore it can be used with hobby grade chargers quite nicely. Now I just want to take you through the flight modes. So there is no arming procedure. The minute that you plug the quadcopter in, it is bound, so be careful there because these blades are quite big and they could definitely do some damage to you. So this first button here, that is your 40% rate mode, and then you've got 60% rate mode, 80% rate mode, and 100% rate mode. This button here actually turns the lights on and off, but on my model, if you long press it, that activates the return to home function. Now in the instructions it says that a long press on this one here is the return home function, but that is not the case with my one. Also, a long press on this button here gives you the headless mode. You get a horrible beeping sound there that doesn't turn off. So I'm going to turn that off. This button up here is your flip function. You press it, it starts beeping, and then you perform your flip in whichever direction you want to, and then it levels out. Of course, you've got the trim functions here, and that is shown also by the indicators along the bottom and the side. You've got a battery indicator as well up here. Without further ado, let's go for a quick flight. Okay, so unusually the battery has to go in the front. We're usually used to putting our batteries in the back of our quadcopters. Also, I tend to find that you need to plug the battery in first on the quadcopter and then turn the transmitter on, which is also backwards to what we are used to. Just push the wires in there and then turn the transmitter on. So when you first take off, the quad kind of punches up. You lift the throttle and it doesn't move anywhere, and then all of a sudden it lifts up. It only does that the first time you take off. After that you can land and then take back off and it just flies normally. So I'm not sure if that's something that they have done to sort of get you out of the grass for the first time. It sort of punches up full throttle, but anyways. My first impressions of this are really good. It flies really smooth. It's quite a windy day here and it's handling it no problems at all. Here I do a flip, and again it hardly loses any height. The flip option is really good. Just press the button, turn in the direction that you want. You can see here it flips really low down. Now here I'm attempting to calibrate it, so you press that top button there, hold it down, and you spin it here on its side. This was the only way I found to get it to do it. Other videos show different axes, so I don't know if I've got a different version, but you see the light turns off there, and I press the button underneath and I spin it in this axis, and you need to do this in order to get any result out of the return to home function. It didn't work at all until I started this calibration mode. So now I take off here and I fly away from myself in the same heading that I took off in, and then I long press that light switch button, and it kind of it doesn't return. It sort of flies backwards in the headless mode that it is in. And like I say, it was a really windy day, so I imagine that it would kind of work if it wasn't so windy, but I wouldn't rely on this function. It's a bit of a gimmick, and you know what? This quadcopter is better than these functions, the headless mode and the return to home mode. So I kind of gave up on that and just did some flying here, doing some flips. I've got the Xiaomi Yi camera banded to my head, and you know, this quadcopter has so much potential. I'm really looking forward to modifying it. It just flies so smoothly. It's a really good starting point for a nice quadcopter. So there we go. That's my initial review. Thanks ever so much for watching. Look for the next video in this series. Please continue to subscribe. Cheers.